Buongiorno a tutti. This presentation will be in English, so I hope that we are mostly English speaking. This presentation will be about consumer shifts, and I am Barbara Maiocchi. I am CEO and co-founder of LiveTrend, and LiveTrend is the first market and trend analytic platform for fashion. We rely on artificial intelligence and data to help our client capitalize on the right trend to be able to have more bestsellers. And we do that analyzing the most influential sources online as e-commerce, fashion shows, social media, consumer interest. So our analysis is quite disruptive from the traditional trend forecasting because we rely on concrete and tangible information, data, numbers, coming from these sources. And our technology that we've developed internally is able to recognize images and text. So as you can see in this silhouette here, our technology is really scanning the image and then analyzing the fashion product, and then it's able to split a single product into several fashion attributes. And so we are able to track color, shapes, materials, composition, and even prices into the e-commerce. LiveTrend is an all-in-one platform. We used to work with designers, merchandisers, buyers, and they used to share the same information, of course, in different time. Our platform is made of different tools. The trend feed is really a feed of trend reports that are updated every day. Analytics is a tool where our client can monitor their market and their competition, so analyzing assortment prices and be able to know if the product is already in the market in small quantity, big quantity. And of course, we have product library as retail search, where you can really find the images of the product you are looking for. And we have a trend search that is a trend agent. We will see even in the presentation, our AI copilot are becoming more and more important. And so you have an AI assistant able to find the trend for you, the most specific you want for your brand. So a data-driven approach, what are the benefits? Because maybe for you it's something new. You used to see, traditional trend forecasting and you say, why they decide to put red in this report? Because they have antennas and so they know it's coming. Today, this is not viable anymore. When you put a product in the market, you need to be sure consumers are going to buy it, not just for your business, but also for the planet. So with data and with this data-driven approach, our client can reduce the unsold goods with more bestseller in their collection. They stop guessworking, playing with the antennas, let's say, making confident decisions. And then they stop margin loss of discount, because when you don't have the right product, you need to do discount, and so you lose your margin, and it's already very difficult to keep the margin today. And so they increase their sellouts. And also the team reduce all the manual research and all these low-value tasks they are doing, because designer, buyer, merchandisers, they need to do their work. So create and buy the product, not lose time to scroll Instagram trying to find the latest trend. This is the information they need to gather in 3 clicks. And so that's why LiveTrend is here. But let's start with the analysis of consumers. So some bullet points just to explain what is coming, because 2027 arrives with heavy tension. The world feels fragile, buckled under inequality, politics problems, and fragile economy. We are living dark times under social, economics, and climate pressure. The mood is heavy. Then consumers are looking for relief and care. They are looking for an antidote for suffering. So that's why we give this title to our consumer analysis. Communities and individuals are turning toward connection, creativity, and rituals that restore balance and grounding. Innovation becomes a matter of survival. In a way, we protect the planet, our health, and restore balance. In this uncertainty, the antidote is found in acts of care, in finding little joys and pleasures, in creating rooms for wonder, and in weaving connection. But let's deep dive into the analysis. Let's talk about the impulses first. So these impulses for the year to come are roots in heritage and identity. Consumer interest in these topics are rising by 30% to last year. So how to read the numbers in the presentation? We analyze trends really, as you can imagine, like stock and change product. So we track consumer interest thanks to Google searches, and so we are able to understand the volume of online searches on keywords as heritage or identity, and so that's why and where, sorry, this data is coming from. So remember, it's the volume of online searches, and it's analyzed year on year. So wishing to creating bonds through shared culture and without erasing identity. In fact, we say we no longer talk about personas, but we of course talk about consumer profile, but we prefer to call them communities because it's no longer a matter of desirability, but resonance and of course over time. On the opposite side, another strong driver is technology, and especially AI. I'm just back from the NRF New York, the biggest retail tech fair, and agentic AI was everywhere. It's really the new buzzword. And that is demonstrated by an impressive growth of 500% to last year. Agentic AI will increasingly be part of our lives, helping us organizing our agenda, shopping, healing. We're gonna be like augmented human, but maybe more lazy. People are still worried about the planet, but we are more resilient, trying to act at small scale. They pay attention on what they buy, and important value are quality and longevity. And certainly they prefer products that can be repaired and recycled. Other major impulses are a certain digital fatigue, rising by 100% to last year, showing that we are looking to real connection, real experiences, and enrich all senses. We are shifting norms of gender, family, and community. There is a big impulse in soft masculinity, but also a gender product and spaces. In time of instability, consumers are searching refuge in nostalgia, and we can already see retro revivals, heritage code, childhood inspiration in aesthetic in social media, product design, and entertainment. Looking for simple little joy, it becomes therapeutic. To play, to have humor, to have fun, it connects with elementary needs and sentiments. It can be used for retail experience, but also purchasing should be a pleasure, an act of joy. Let's have a look at consumer behavior. So consumers want to experience things more than own products. That's why travel, hospitality, and food are lead preferences. As I already mentioned, shopping will be more and more AI native, and we can detect a rapid adoption of AI assistants across discovery and social media platform. They use it for finding new product, price comparison, and so it's becoming more and more important for brands to really understand how to be, of course, in those platforms. Resale and repair become normal. As we can see, online resale across category has grown by 100% to last year. Consumers are looking for products with values, so sustainability, of course, but also transparency and the right price. In fact, let's talk about the wallet shifts. As I mentioned, people put their money in travel and purpose-driven experiences. They want affordable indulgences as beauty, fragrances, small accessories, food and beverage, more than fashion. They spend in health and wellness. It's not about living longer, it's about living healthier. They put incredible amount of money in their pets. Having less children, people focus on pets. There is a specific name for those individuals who are called pet parents. They treat their pets with same care and attention as their own children. And this is a growing market and, of course, a very good opportunity. Lastly, home is also a center of spending. Our hybrid lives push us to find new spaces where personal and professional lives merge. We have identified 4 different consumer shifts, so 4 different communities, and I'm gonna drive you inside these 4 different communities. The first is the slow seeker. emerge as an antidote to overwhelm, finding strength in slowness, rituals, and the quiet rhythm of life. In a world dominated by speed, noise, and overconsumption, they turn to the past, not as an escape, but as a compass for meaning. Nostalgia become a tool for renewal, guiding them towards simplicity, care, and intentional presence. They cultivate balance, resilience, patience, and harmony with nature, but also with people, slowing down to resist and heal. In fact, our data has an increase of 50% on slow life compared to last year. We are moving away from the era of more, faster, and now, and entering a period defined an offline renaissance. This slide breaks down the triggers, so the problem pushing people away from the current systems, and the drivers, pulling them toward a new way of living. On the left, we can see the triggers. Consumers are feeling the weight of capitalism and climate threat. There is a growing conscience that the current pace of overconsumption is not just unsustainable, is not right. So people are hitting a wall with digital and professional fatigue, leading to a state of anxiety and feeling that the system we rely on is become increasingly fragile. In response to those pressures, we see the drivers on the right. This is where the opportunity lies. Regenerative systems. People are tired of things that break and pollute. They want products and habits that give back. Instead of buying a cheap t-shirt that ends up in the landfill, they want one made of materials that help the earth or can be fixed like easily, can be repaired. It's about healing rather than just buying and using. They also prefer quality over speed. This is the mindful rhythm. It's choosing a long walk over a scroll on social media or a slow cooked meal over fast food. It's about presence over productivity. This consumer is asking, slow me down, give me something real to touch, and show me that your brand cares about the future as much as I do. The slow seeker turns away from the exhaustion and the pressure of speed, searching for calm and meanings. For them, minimalism is not about restriction, but about finding richness and simplicity. Rituals that are, of course, recurring, and living gently with nature, while unplugging from constant online noise, fueling an offline renaissance. Through mindful rhythm, they reframe daily life, cultivating balance, nurturing resilience, and restoring what truly matters. To summarize, using a quote of one of the most influential philosophers in human history, Lao Tzu, founder of the Taoism, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Let's do a quick example. Let's do quick examples of product. So let's talk about regenerative food and regenerative agriculture. So through mindful sourcing, circular packaging, restorative practice, the Generative Food Company create products that nourish both people and the planet. Their approach transforms consumption into a conscious act, reconnecting us to the origin of what we eat and inspiring a slower but more purposeful relationship with food. Waste recycling in the middle. By giving discarded fabric a new life, new startups are emerging as Fabric that combine ecological responsibility with innovative craftsmanship. These eco-bricks offer a tangible answer to overconsumption, turning waste into beauty and function. And the late one are the local repair cafes. So this local repair cafe offers more than just the chance to mend broken objects. Each session becomes a small ritual of presence where fixing a lamp or stitching a seam carries meaning beyond utility. By extending the life of object we repair, and then those cafes are a more sustainable way of living, where preservatives take the place of waste. The second consumer is the strategic stimulator, and he or she emerges as an antidote to restraint. So countering numbness with joy and playfulness. In a world dulled by minimalism, monotony, They reframe pleasure as a tool to connect therapy and resilience. Life becomes a stage when irony, spectacle, and sensory immersion transform the ordinary into curated wonder. They thrive in contradiction, finding freedom in artifice, surprise in illusion, and meaning in exaggeration. Colors are for them a sensorial part of the experience, bringing joy and dopamine. While the previous consumer was focused on environment and pace, this one drives into the emotional state, the sensorial pace. It contrasts the feeling of being numb with the active pursuit of joy and sensory experience. The triggers are due to hypernormalization, a feeling that reality has become fake because of the overly curated, leading to a sense of detachment. Creative stagnation, a lack of emotional stimulation that leaves consumer feeling bored. And dopamine deficit, a pleasure gap where digital scrolls no longer provide actual satisfaction. And the drivers on the right are toward more vibrant, real feeling, using irony to play to find humor in a complex world, treating daily life as a stage experience, making the mundane feeling as a performance or a special event, seeking out rich immersive stimulation that engage all the senses and not just eye on the screen. While the slow seeker was about slowing down, the strategic stimulator is about waking up. Brands shouldn't just be useful, they should be fun, surprising, and sensory. Hypernormalization makes reality feels empty. Creative stagnation and lack of dopamine intensify the hunger for novelty and play. So these are new opportunities for brand and product. Remember that, of course, minimalism is here now, but we will be more and more be engaging in something more fun and playful. The strategic stimulator thrives on energy, spectacle, and surprise, transforming every day into a stage for play and contradiction. Joy is not just fleeting pleasure, but a deliberate strategy, a way to resist numbness, spark connection, and reclaim vitality. So everything will be around exaggeration, irony, theatrality, and immersive experience that dazzle the senses and elevates the ordinary into performance. To summarize the mindset of the strategic stimulator, let's use a quote of Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the most radical thinkers in the modern culture. We have heart in order not to die of the truth. Let's go quickly through 3 concrete examples. Sensorial dining are one of them. The goal is to create deeply immersive environment that enhance the perception of the food and the emotional impact of the meal. In the center, immersive fashion gaming, platform like Dressed and Fashionverse, let users create photorealistic avatars, experiment with makeup and outfit, and where creativity is quite liberated for them and it becomes really a game and so an experience. And one example that I really found very strange, but also very in the contradiction of this consumer, is the technosaunas. Technosaunas are parties where they blend energy of the rave with the ritual of a sauna. DJs play electronic sets with loud music and while people move between the dance floor and hot saunas and chill out spaces. So it's really kind of a multi-sensor atmosphere that feels both intense but in the same way liberating. The third one, the community weaver, emerge as a response to loneliness. They counter polarization, digital isolation, and fractured trust by bringing closeness into everyday life. For them, belonging isn't just an idea. It's lived every day through shared rituals, cultural expression, and small, meaningful connections. They are drawn to local networks, creative spaces, and community hubs where collaboration and intimacy can grow. Culture acts are both a guide and a glue, connecting heritage and modern identity into something collective. In their world, solidarity is strength. Resilience comes from mutual care, reciprocity, and attentive support. They are modern bohemian, a term rising by an impressive 350% growth to last year. Let's have a look at the triggers of the community weaver: a deep separate distrust in large institutions, a feeling that digital life lacks authenticity because of everything is so curated and so feel fake, the shrinking of civic space where people used to connect in person, so ERL experiences. And the driver on the right, a yearning for a micro-trust where people focus on small local groups they know they can rely on, so really local. A conscious effort to defend human creativity and genuine connection against digital interference, and moving toward collective resilience where community members support each other. If the last consumer was about waking up our senses, this one is about finding our people. As trust in institutions fades and public space shrinks, people feel disconnected from the system that once held community together. Algorithms make this worse, amplifying isolation and creating a hunger for authenticity and belonging. The community weaver respond by focusing on real human connection. They turn to smaller, reliable circles, and they care to rebuild trust and at personal scale. For them, belonging isn't just a comfort, it's a source of identity and strength. So they're prioritizing togetherness, creativity, and mutual support. They build their life around local network, neighborhood, and shared ritual, while staying open to a global exchange that enrich their sense of community. Their values are trust, reciprocity, and care, showing through mutual aids, collaborative projects, and protecting shared space. For them, even small acts of togetherness become meaningful rituals, strengthen their intimacy and resilience. So they actively foster solidarity through co-creation, mutual support, and collective strength. Their resilience is not rooted into solitude, but into solidarity, built on common care and intelligence of the collective. To summarize with a quote of Kelly Harrell, a contemporary author and spiritual teacher, "We don't heal in isolation, but in community." So let's have a look at these three concrete examples. Time Left is an app foster genuine connection amongst individuals by organizing diner groups with strangers. So globally, it's unlike the traditional dating apps. Time Left focus on creating meaningful interaction through shared meal, allowing participants to meet new people in a relaxed and enjoyable setting, so no pressure. Co-working and co-living villages are becoming stronger. Even in Italy, there's a lot of different examples of this new way of living, and they are a hybrid destination that combine sharing living space and professional offices into a single integrated community. And Nexter, it's another networking service that is very, let's say, hyper-local, I have to define it, designed to connect people exclusively with their geographic neighbors and the local organization that serve them. The last consumer is the future guardian, and she embodies the antidote to distrust, rising from a world fractured by failed institution, disinformation, and system collapse. So this one, it's a really strong one, guided by value of protection, foresight, and cultural preservation. They integrate advanced technology with ecological awareness to strengthen both individual autonomy and collective survival. For them, AI and innovation are not sources of hype, but just critical daily utilities, held to the highest standards of transparency, ethic, and authenticity. Ultimately, their mission is safeguarding the heritage and humanity while building infrastructure that can be trusted to endure. Because today, with AI, the digital, we don't know what we are looking at. When we see images, we cannot really understand if they are real or fake. So this is very important for every one of us, that we put some boundaries to those technology to really know that what we are living in, seeing is safe. So the triggers are the political tensions, of course, as we can see today, There's really, for them, systemic skepticism that is fueled by also this political polarization and the decay of reliable information. Technological overload because we are facing AI disinformation, as I was mentioning, and a sense that tech giants hold the power. I was in the metro this morning and I was listening to one of these topics really here in Milan. So, and the third one is loss of privacy. There is a deep surveillance fatigue where people feel constantly watched and tracked. Just think about China, but also US. There's a lot of problem about feeling, and also this feeling of being always like watch and track. So the drivers are security and privacy, people using tools to protect their own data and independence, return to basic, raw and human roots to escape this digital control, and protecting local values and personal boundaries against global digital overreach. In a world where data is more and more important to better know our consumer and why they want product, how we can design product for them, brand must prove they are also protector of their consumers' privacy and personal freedom. So there's also opportunity in that part, but brands need to be more and more transparent with their consumers. The future guardian emerge from a world that is destabilized. Their reality is shaped by AI illusion, where synthetic narrative blur trust and truth. Political polarization deepens ideological divides, eroding the foundation of dialogue and cooperation. At the same time, surveillance fatigue set in, rising the absence of ethical boundaries in technology. In this atmosphere of fractured truth and pervasive control, the future guardian is propelled by an urgent need to reclaim agency and secure a future beyond systemic failure. So for the future guardian, the future is safeguarded by balancing innovation with preservation, ensuring that humans stay at the core of the technology. The future guardian represents a new kind of stewardship, blending advanced technology with biological intelligence to protect both heritage and humanity's future. Their mindset is rooted in responsibility. They seek tool, infrastructure, and community that offers resilience and transparency in these unstable times. For them, truth is not given but earned, built through systems that are ethical, accountable, and authentic. AI and digital innovation are embraced, but always on their terms, integrate with the demand for personalization, ethical safeguards, and cultural continuity. For the future guardian, technology is not a master. It's a tool customized to provide foresight, autonomy, and protection. Every decision is measured against a long horizon. The duty to preserve cultural heritage, safeguard human dignity and life. Their vision is balancing preservation with progress to ensure that what is the most essential endure. Let's do a concrete example on fantastic innovation as smart glasses, that we are at Mido, where in them you can have simultaneous translation, for example, and so be able to understand everyone. Or think about what this means for deaf people. They will be able to read what people said. On the other hand, these smart glasses can also record and make videos, but in that case, other people won't be aware they've been recorded, and this infringe of their privacy. Or a funny example, your employee might pretend to be working while they are watching movie or playing video games. I test them in NRF, and it was very funny because you can really not see what's happening behind those glasses. But this is the future. So how we can, put the right boundaries. So let's have a look of these concrete examples. So the Aura Ring is a smart wearable device, so not similar to the smart glasses, it's another thing, but it's quite similar in the concept. It's designed to track health and wellness metrics. Some of you have some of these tools. Maybe they can monitor when you sleep, if you sleep well, what you eat. Someone used one of these tools already? Yeah, so you know what it is. So there's AI inside that analyze biometrics data, offering personalized insights and prediction about health patterns, your heart, how you sleep, as we were saying before. And you can optimize, of course, all of these KPI, let's call it, for you, your body, and your health. So by combining biological data with AI-driven analysis, the Aura Ring exemplified the future of personalized health technology. In the center, I think it's quite interesting, those longevity clinics, because talking about health, another very strong example are those clinics that are quite different from the retreat that we usually know. They represent a shift in healthcare, specializing in proactive, personalized strategy to enhance the period of life spent in good health. So the goal now, it's not live forever, it's live healthier. Another example is DIO, Decentralized Autonomous Organization, is an internet-native organization collectively owned and managed by its member without any central leadership. So decisions are made through proposals and on a token-based voting system, ensuring that the community, rather than single entity, controls the organization. We can see this type of organization even in brands that are adopting more and more this system to involve their consumer in their community, as cooperative, as we said in Italian. So they involve their consumer in their board. They can buy the action, of the brand to make decision with the board and share, with the big investors, with all the people on the board, why they are buying, because they are making, the richness of the brand, and so they need to be in the board and decide with the brand what will be the future of it. So this is the last consumer. We have finished for the presentation today, but of course, there is more. If you would like to have more information even on product trend that Simona presented yesterday, we would be very happy to help you to go through all these different topics. And if you want to contact us and have more information about our data-driven methodology, you can scan the QR code so you'll be able to reach us and so we can continue the discussion. Thank you very much.